Hello? Oh, yeah. I think I was muted. It's been so long since I've done this, I don't have any of the setup ready anymore. Bear with this. I can't talk too much about the races because the race is about to be ready. I just need to crop the screens. Oh, it's one of those black titles, so I'm actually not able to crop. We'll just have to figure this out as we go along. So this is our game. It is not in fact Alien Hominid. It is the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. And the goal is not in fact beat stage 2-4 because I forgot to change that too. Anyway. Why do I have so many tabs open? Right, sharing screen. I can't actually hear what someone was saying, which is a problem. Oh. I thought I heard something and now I don't anymore.
Can you hear anything?
Yeah, I can. Hello. So it looks like there is still level 1, which doesn't particularly surprise me. Yeah, this is weird. I heard a tongue, but no voice. Maybe I should rejoin the voice chat. That area that Tiger is in, where you get the hat and the weapon, it took me so long to find that area, and it makes the stage a lot more reasonable. Because if you just go forward and then you try to punch this boss, it's really difficult. Yep, and then you also get knight from the sides. This game's amazing. Ironically, it's actually fun after you learn how the game works, but while you're learning how the game works, it's miserable. Which I guess is how most of the NES games work, unless you like really enjoy this whole learning experience thing. I think this rifle that Yugge is using is one of the best weapons in the game. It fires pretty fast. It has a pretty long range. This is not the typical MT race, because in the typical MT race you're going to... Like, we're usually going to give you somewhat forgiving games in which you can make steady progress, and then it's a matter of like who does it in fewer tries, or if you can do things first try you get an advantage. Here it's like it's basically impossible to do this first try. And if you did this first try, this goal would be done in 10 minutes, but we know they're not gonna do it first try. So we just... It's really a goal about who learns the game first, which is not the usual kind of goal we have here in Mystery Tournament. And I guess I was setting up so I didn't explain the basic mechanics of how this game works, but yeah, it is a basic platformer, but you also get a weapon slot and an armor slot, and those also serve as your health. So if you get hit, you first lose your armor, and then the second time you get hit, you lose your weapon, which is usually pretty bad because not having a weapon is almost a death sentence in this game. You want to be hitting enemies from farther away. Here we have Yugge going against the boss again. Yeah, this first part, I think they pretty much have it. You just shoot it from afar and snipe those guys. And now we have the real boss coming down. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Yeah, this boss is crazy. If you don't have a weapon there, I don't know how you're supposed to beat that boss. If you do have a weapon, it's pretty simple actually. So it's mostly about not getting damaged in the other part, so you can keep your weapon and just shoot that guy. They found this cave with items so quickly, it took me so long, and I don't know, sometimes I'm just completely blind to these things. Okay, another boss attempt. Shoot the cannons and shoot the guys. Ooh, got sniped by the boss. It's hard to commentate when the game is just 11 minutes of stage 1, but this is really how this game looks like. It is 11 minutes of stage 1. And you can see that the goal is just beat stage 2, so the goal is really short if you don't die, but we do expect you to die a lot. The game only has 3 stages. Yeah, you could probably beat this game in like 20 minutes if you don't die then. Not even speed running, just not dying. See Tiger reaching the cannons again. Got a good strategy for that part. Good job. Ooh, gets hit by the cannonball. Yeah, now with the punches, it's hard. Yeah, speaking of speedrunning, we have legit speedrunners in the chat. I prefer the guns myself, it's more predictable, but I guess if you're familiar with the rock arc, maybe it can be really good. Ooh. Shot again. And at this point too, you're in the race, you don't know where your opponent is, you start to rush the stage, which is not something you should be doing. And then you start getting those early deaths and not even reaching the boss. This is a bit of an exercise in patience, you can't tilt. The game is just hard. Ooh, dodge the shots. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, just shoot him, Yugge. Yeah. We're saved from screen 1. We can see screen 2. And it's a cave. Going pretty fast. I was usually moving more slowly here to make sure I got the enemies before they got me, but Yugge is just not stopping. Press forward and go. Ooh, Tiger in a good situation against the boss here too. Boss is blinking. Ooh, close race. I like it. I mean, these days I think I skip cutscenes in most games I play, so I'm used to the feeling of just, oh, I'm in a cave now, why? I don't know. I don't care. Ooh. Tiger finding the hat by going left instead of going right here. This could be a big advantage because now, okay, you can take one more hit, but not from the spikes. Still really close race here, Tiger approaching where Yugge died that last time. Ooh. The almighty small enemies. This time Yugge decides to check out what's in the little tunnel to the right. It's a torch. Oh yeah, and a spike. We also found spikes there. It just refuses to go into this tunnel at the start, which is kind of funny. I guess the thought is just why waste time going to these optional areas. Almost synced. Climbing the same ladder. Looks like there's a gun up here. Ooh, sniped by the rock. That pit is such a troll. Tiger also died into the pit. That is such a troll pit, oh my god. Yugge now wisely deciding to use a ladder. It's not there for decoration. And that bridge wasn't solid. Should have kept going with the strategy of just holding forward. And they're synced again. Tiger doesn't care about the gun. Tiger's just punching enemies. And it turns out to be the correct choice, because now there's a screen transition that's a checkpoint. Technically the lead change, but yeah, Yugge's making it through this. They're so close. I didn't expect this race to be this close. Nice jump from Yugge. Oh, punching a bat. Know that Yugge is one checkpoint ahead here. Tiger coming into the final stretch of this checkpoint. Yeah, just go. Okay. Looks like these checkpoints are getting a bit easier. Wow, yeah, that one was trivial. So we're fighting this boss who throws rocks at you. I guess it makes sense. Throws rocks at you and you can grab a rock. I don't know why the rock is in a neatly packaged crate though. Ooh, nice! First try boss. Now we're in France. Why? Nobody knows. The people who actually play the game know. I don't know. Our racers don't know. And those French aren't playing around. Tiger64 reaching the boss of stage 1 here.
Oh, there we go. I don't know if I can hear.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, well, yeah, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
They went pretty fast through this cave, but now it's France, and yeah, France is rough.
Yeah, the beginning of France is incredibly rough.
But it does feel like they are more familiar with how the game works in general than they were when they started stage 1.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played this, and it definitely took a little bit to get used to. Just some of the physics of the game, not necessarily the cleanest, but very easy to kind of get used to, especially this far in. It doesn't necessarily make it any easier, but yeah, it is a very tough game. One nice thing I will say is we see on like Tiger's screen with this boss that the game is, generally speaking, fairly good about providing weapons and health if you lose it. Fight. It's not going to be like an immediate pickup, but if you like lose the rock fight, like in a couple dynamite cycles, it'll give you another one. So as long as you can survive until that point, should be good.
I think Tiger is showcasing here that this boss can actually be difficult, because Yugge just did it first try and made this boss look like a joke, and it's not really. It's not hard either, but it's not a complete trivial joke.
Right. Yeah, one of the biggest things you really have to watch out for in this game, especially blind, is just the way the health works. If you lose your weapon and you're just down to your fist, it becomes so much harder to progress when everything's shooting at you and you have to get in really close. It's very difficult if you lose that in the wrong spot. So keeping that weapon is going to be a very key thing for both of these racers.
I've been impressed at how far they've gone with the fist sometimes. For me, if I got sent to the fist, it was basically game over. I couldn't kill anything. But usually, yeah, like I said, the game is good at providing you a weapon right after where you are.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me on France here are these random or pseudo-random things that happen. So like this plane, that one you can just keep going and it won't hit you. But it's really those bombs that keep dropping. It almost feels like that if you keep holding right, they will hit you. So you almost need to like kind of use that. Is it you? So if you can just slow down when you.
You're cutting off a bit. But...
Yeah. But yeah, I very much expected France to be, I mean, definitely a lot harder than Mexico in my opinion, and definitely was going to be like the big skill chunk for this race. I'm actually glad we actually, when I submitted this, I don't know if it's been talked about, but I had us going a little further into the following country, and all the testers were just like, yeah, this is way too much. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably too much, but I just like this game. What more about and I found the
you're still cutting off quite a bit.
Does hold on a second. Okay. Hopefully this is better. I think I've been having internet issues most of the night.
Well, for now it's fine.
Cool. Yeah, like I was saying, I think the thing that like really made this race viable was finding the infinite lives cheat, and overriding that memory. The game normally gives you like 2 or 3 lives per continue, and then you have a hard cap of 5 continues. So you can theoretically pick up more lives. If you get 100 gold bars, it will give you an extra life. It's really weird to me that they always come in groups of 30, and then they're like, oh yeah, 100 is the cutoff, so you never quite cleanly hit that. But yeah, if you run out of continues, it's a hard game over. You gotta go all the way back to the beginning of Mexico. So, not really something our racers in a game this hard, in a hour-long race, hour-and-a-half long race, especially blind, so having that infinite lives activated is pretty much the only reason I thought this was reasonable to throw in the first place.
So far, it's been a pretty good
you
race.
go on to the Ross. It's like finding the weapons and armor pretty well, which I'm very happy about. It's not super hidden away, but it's also not always the most obvious spot either. Especially in some of those caves in Mexico and the first part of France.
I spent so much time playing the first screen of Mexico without realizing you could go into the cave.
Yeah, you figuring out the knock. He was very brutal. A couple times there, getting hit by that enemy and just getting knocked straight into the pit, which of course is instant death. Luckily, isn't losing too much time progressing the stage because we're right at the beginning. Opting not to go get the other hat at the beginning of this level. I don't know if they know if it's there or not, but choosing not to go get it at least. Tiger on the bike section. I do really like this. He's a one-hit kill. But yeah. The chests in this game are just gold bars, which for this race are not worth going for, but of course you never know what's in them. And the nice thing is that they are always in the same spot too, so if you know where a weapon is, it will always be in that crate.
You can get a feeling for it that like the armor pieces are usually the chests are most out of the way, and the weapons are intermediate. The gold bars are just in the middle of the path usually.
Yeah, I can see that. Armor is very much life and bed. Very good example of what we were just talking is kind of on the bottom path there, still in a forward motion, like still in a forward direction, but that hat you have to go forward, get up on the upper plane, and then backtrack to basically the beginning of the level and hit that crate. So yeah, it's very much more out of the way, but if you are having trouble, it is worth taking those extra seconds to go get it.
Once again, finished the race and said in chat, so is smooth is fast. Yeah, this is definitely a game where you just want to not die and keep going. So instead, he wins the race.
Yugge also, there was on that bridge section, there was another hat as well. But again, it's very much you have to go forward, do a bit of platforming backwards to hit it, and that close to the end of the stage, which granted, if you don't know, you know, it's worth maybe checking out, but into the stage, so not something you absolutely. This is a rare boss. Losing your weapon pretty much screws you. You're pretty much left with fists at that point, and trying to punch a tank is not fun. It does give you that grenade at the beginning. That's the only one. But Yugge, coming up on the final sections of France, there is one more boss. First, I'm going to go through it. The
With infinite lives, this section tends to be a bit more chill because the screens are closer to each other, so you get more frequent checkpoints. But also you can fall down to the next one.
Yeah, that is very true. Where most of the stages up till this point have just been one really long horizontal map, these are very condensed, more squarish segments, and so yeah, you get those checkpoints at the screen transition, and with the infinite lives, you're just going to go back to the beginning of the screen. You can, like you said, you can fall down. You can actually do it right here. You jump down the waterfall and hopefully land on a platform if you want to be risky about it. Totally possible. Another thing is you can farm those crates. Those crates do respawn if you go off screen and come back. Yugge opting not to check that, totally valid. But yeah, if they were to go up that ladder again, those crates would be there. And it's actually a really good farming spot for gold, too, if you're playing this casually.
Casual strats in case you're watching and want to play this game afterwards.
I do highly recommend it. The whole game isn't really that long. I mean, it's long in the sense that it's going to be difficult, especially if you're playing. Oh no! Oh, that's rough. Having to go all the way back to the beginning of this vertical section, 2 screens back. Has obviously done it once before, it knows these screens now, so hopefully it's not too bad, but that is a lot of... the game itself isn't too long. The game considers there to be 3 levels, so we're only doing the first 2. As you can tell, I've segmented into like smaller sections. A fun game I actually want, because people, myself included, on race day, game overed right at the very end and had to do the whole thing over again, wasting like 40-50 minutes. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking this game out. It's great. But maybe if you're scared of the game overs, you know, infinite lives is definitely a thing you can do. Tiger opting or finding that mask at the beginning of France 2. It's a nice pickup there. Yeah. Back where he was. That grenade from that guy can be almost gets hit by the turret, not once but twice, but manages to avoid it. Oh, but then gets hit by grenade guy. That is one thing too. You start learning the enemy attack patterns. Like these guys tend to shoot twice, and then we'll throw a grenade, depending on... It kind of depends on distance a little bit. But if you know that, you can kind of bait out an attack, you know, duck under 2 shots, and then get up and move slightly forward to avoid the grenade.
Yugge's having a lot of trouble with the screen that he already cleared before. Falling down, I guess, made him rush too much this time, and now he can clear it again. Yeah, keeps getting hit by that cannon, for example. Okay, he heard me. Ooh.
Well, it's not a death, at least. Just gotta do a little bit of platforming to get back there. Okay, saved it. That was a nice recovery. Opting to lose a little bit of progress versus straight up dying. It's good, but you already cleared this enemy out. You can get up to that next screen. Oh, Tiger64 falling in a pit right at the end of this.
Oh no.
This part of France. Okay, it realizes he does not up to. Get oh, you don't get like double hats or anything. Just a couple careful jumps, dodging some bullets. There we go. No. But I think at this point it'd be kind of hard. You're there. It's the you get this necklace, temporary invincible. That way. Yeah, so that's the thing that Yugge might have just figured out, is that the game starts you at the beginning of the room. It doesn't plop you down where you died, so despite dying at the top of the stage, will put you at the beginning of the screen. So it was very unfortunate that he fell. But this is very much a game that doesn't really have randomness in the sense. Yeah, everything spawns kind of has the same behavior. The enemies in the same places, the same things. If you can figure out what are or deal with them.
Nice jump by Yugge to clear that grenade enemy.
Yes, very much so. And thankfully dying after the screen transition gets to start right away at this screen. This is actually the final screen before the boss. It's not a very difficult screen, all things considered. You see we're already right up here.
What was difficult was the screen Tiger just cleared, so good job.
Yes, yes. Now this boss is going to be maybe a little bit of a challenge to figure out. It does do the very nice thing where it will spawn grenades every so often, so we can damage as long as you can get back to that grenade before you take another point of damage. You'll be fine. Yeah, falling off in there does count as death. Is getting squished at the top of the screen, so this is death. You want to
basically want to figure out where you throw the grenade so that it hits the boss, and then
yeah, you can also hit it. It doesn't seem like you guys doing it. I don't know if he doesn't know or just is in a rhythm and wants to stick there. Oh, there we go. That's a clear.
If it works, it works.
In the German, but you can lob those grenades up in an arc, so you can actually hit from the ground. So you can hop on a planet. So that very good clear. A lot clearer than I think most people, you know, on a first attempt. Tiger actually not too far behind either. Just getting to this last bit of France with this vertical platforming section. Honestly, what that was a 48:07 from Yugge. Like very good time, honestly, for a blind race of this. Even with the infinite continues, again, it is not an easy game by any stretch, and to pull off that kind of performance, I'm very impressed by that, honestly.
Yeah, two very, very strong performances. You weren't here to commentate, but at the start of the race, it was extremely close. They were synced at most points on Mexico. It was really like the first boss that separated them, and then Yugge just took the lead.
I love the comment from that. It's fine. I never really liked Indiana Jones anyway. But yeah, it's so the original goal. The train section, so you get the train section. There's a fight at the end of it, and then I believe that the very next stage is the Red Baron. It's either that or there's one between, but I think it's. You think I would know this having played it fairly recently. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely think in hindsight, Yugge probably could have finished the original goal, but I am definitely glad we cut this down.
48 minutes is definitely a very good time for a race already, yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember when I was learning this for Big 20, it probably took me 2 hours to get through this to that point. So, yeah, very, very solid performance.
So Yugge said he has to rush off to work, so we won't be getting his commentary on the game. We'll just be following Tiger. I think he's going to be clearing this relatively soon.
Yeah, halfway through the waterfall section here, 2 or 3 screens left, and then the boss. So definitely very close.
Some smooth progress in this vertical section.
Yes. Very much.
The jump, nah.
Right. Oh, not quite. Yeah, there you go. Use that invincibility. It doesn't last too awfully long, but I definitely got some good use out of that, walking through the turret. And well, opting to kill the guy, you can if the timings line up, just jump over that guy and be able to get up the platforms before they fire. But definitely to take that guy out.
I believe that's what Yugge did, but Yugge also did it first try, and Tiger got shot by the guy, so probably is more scared of the guy now.
Yeah, I find that happens a lot too. It's like you die to somebody in this game. Oh, I know. Really, it's knocked back onto the platform. Hey, it works.
The guy was a friend the whole time.
Exactly. And again, getting knocked back onto that platform. Granted, it was a death, but...
Oh no.
Oh, oh no. Okay, well, it's only one screen. It could be worse. Tiger knowing how to get past the screen now, though, so that's hopefully shouldn't have too much trouble getting back to the last screen before the boss. Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay, well, again, I'll take it. Yeah, you're on the platform.
It works, it
What
works.
matters? As before, there's a turret up here. The fire one.
Feels like Tiger wants to punch the tank.
Understandable after the last tank. Because again, if you die with that grenade, you do have to start punching, and I don't know of anyone who has successfully done that. I think in my race actually, in my time doing this just now, I think I punched the tank, and it died, but I also died at the same time, and it counted as me dying. So yeah, either way, that is definitely something you don't want to do, and this one is actually, you can't do it just because of where the hitbox on this thing is. You do have to shoot that dome at the top of the screen, or at the top of the tank. Doesn't look like Tiger has figured out you can arc grenades either. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you still do have to be careful. Opting to just damage boost through that, I like that. I kind of do a mix of that strat and then riding the platforms up, but yeah, if you can manage that and get that all the time, the grenade spawns in the same spot.
Could have been a bit more safe there. Didn't need to wait for the grenade inside the tank. Yeah, realized that this time.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's clipped with a bullet.
I think the worst part is trying to anticipate when comes on screen. It's like, oh, if I had just gone there, I would have landed platform. That's not fun. That, yeah, it does have to be on screen for you to stand on it. Likely they are equally spaced, but still, it's if you're not paying attention or just go a little too early, it's pretty hard. One other thing with this fight is as we've seen, aside from the initial attempt, he does spawn an enemy with the tank as well, so that is something else to keep in mind. You can time that. Again, this is a very timeable boss. Everything happens kind of on cycles, and if you get a grasp of those cycles, you can throw a grenade early enough to take out the guy before he spawns, or get an extra hit in. Yeah. Struggling a little bit here, which is totally understandable. There's not that much going on screen, but with the way the game runs and kind of the physics of it, it's a little tricky. Yeah, you definitely want to watch out for the guy there. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't get hit there, but has the components needed to get through this fight. It's just going to be a matter of all one run. Like, has the knowledge of where the hitbox is, how to hit the hitbox in multiple ways. Has it's just there. It just the execution needs to be there, and I don't think that will take too long to get down.
I was going to say, I feel like Yugge's strategy of going up and shooting from above was far safer, and apparently Tiger's reaching that same conclusion right now.
Yeah, it's definitely safer if you stick to the platforms, because you only really have to worry about the bullets and then just getting off the platform. Whereas if you are down on the ground, you have the enemy to take care of. You have just standing in the tank, which will damage you and not damage it. So it's a bit riskier. Like the safe thing to do would definitely be to just play it little those chunk and not have pay attention to stay alive. You're not going to be damaging it as quickly because you do have to have a significant bit of height on those platforms in order to make it hit where it needs to hit. But if you're going to be staying alive as a result of that, like it's definitely worth considering at the very least. Almost falls in the pit. Catches the corner though, which is good. Definitely seems to have a bit of a... Oh, okay. Well, it just barely makes it onto the platform. Good, recognizing that... Oh. Oh. Ah. Yeah, if you get off, like... You almost have to treat this as you being on a cycle as well. And if you get off of that, then it can be difficult to get back on it. And what I mean by that is the grenade takes a second or two to get hit, or to like respawn once you pick it up. So if you get hit after just picking it up, or like in a position where you're not really able to get back there in time, like you're going to have to dodge more attacks and try and we can get out. And if you can get off of that cycle, it becomes to get back on it. But hopefully has hit the tank for quite a number.
Yeah, the tank must be almost dead. Yeah. That's done with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Honestly, I was very worried when all the testers were like, yeah, like an hour for the first level. Like, yeah. But
Hello.
Hello.
There was the game. We just had to play.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, man, that like hmm, contact damage on everything, including the mice and the bats, was great. I loved how punching was like completely worthless because you'd walk up to somebody to try to hit them in the face and they'd just kill you by existing. And the screens that like the first two screens of both levels were excessively long and it was terrible.
Yeah, difficult game in that you, if you take damage, finding things to replace it while possible is not like super present throughout the levels, and yet the if you die, having to go back to the beginning of the screen is definitely rough with the length of some of those. But honestly, I think from what I saw, both you and Yuge did very well. Yeah, I am very impressed. Even taking an hour to get through France, blind, man, that was. I wish I was that good.
There were there were at least some bits that went smoothly without too much difficulty getting to that point, but I guess one thing that did feel kind of nice is as you like because you ended up playing those first few screens so many times, it very quickly got to the point where like you just have a script that you're following and you just kind of get to fly through the earlier sections until you don't jump for some reason or something just barely misses or any of myriad of other things goes wrong, but when it does work out, it's not that bad. You can kind of fly through things once you know how to do it, but sometimes it's just a matter of the game just says, "Nah, I'm going to kill you now. Have fun." Mhm.
Yeah,
But we
this
got
is
there
like the
eventually.
NES game of the first time you're just gonna die and then you eventually learn how the game works and you
Hmm.
just learn it. And then the game can sort of feel good. I think when I was testing this, I kind of liked the game more once I had learned that sort of script and I wasn't just hammering into enemies and dying.
Yeah, the I guess I can't complain too much about the controls because this is NES, so it's kind of to be expected, but there were definitely some difficulties getting jumps to happen or make attacks and whatnot. I loved how you could like land on the same platform in an enemy as an enemy and they'd immediately turn around and shoot you like instantly before you could even do anything. That was great. Uh, this game had all sorts of fun stuff to it. Just every single soldier in on the front lines of World War II is the fastest draw in the West, and oh,
Yeah, I think I tuned in right about the time you were beating Mexico. Um,
mm,
I don't know how the caves in the early part of Mexico went for you, but yeah, definitely like going into France. France one is far and away, I think, the hardest part of the game, at least for me. It's brutal. With the bike section, it's very easy to not jump as high or as far as you think, and
mm,
lose the bike pretty early, and then you have to do all that on foot, which is the worst. Um, not to mention you have the bombs dropping from the sky that in random places
Yep.
and having to
That,
dodge those. And it did seem to me that you almost kind of had to go slow through it. If you like kind of kept just
mm,
gunning it, it would hit you a lot more often, I think. Um, but yeah, like I said, I think that having played the whole game, I still would say for me is the very much the toughest state.
yeah, it's very much the sort of game where like you just kind of have to learn when the game's going to throw a cannonball out of nowhere at you, and you need to know when to pause to let enemies attack and when to try to not give them the opportunity. Like there's a lot of ways that you can just get hit from like nowhere, and you just kind of don't really have a choice but to memorize the script and make sure you gotta know, okay, gotta stop here so that this bomb can come in and explode, then I can jump over it. And I'm going to run through here, this plane's gonna drop the bomb behind me, but I gotta jump over this guy who's suddenly going to sprint like at top speed right at my face out of nowhere, and then uh,
Did you, of all the weapons you used throughout the game, did you have a favorite?
um I mean, weirdly, the whip just does just kind of feel good, but the revolver was probably the most useful. Um, the rock had a bit of that like extra range on it aspect, but uh, since you could only throw down, it made instances. Well, I you can throw up, and I didn't realize that until the the Mexico boss. When it's like I don't know how to hit this person. What do I do? Uh, which might have made it a little bit more useful, but there's definitely some awkward bits on a slope where it's like, okay, I this guy is right in front of me, but I can't hit them because my rock can only go down. So, but I think the revolver was probably the most useful. I don't know what the difference between the revolver and the rifle was, if there even was one. But
Uh, I feel like the rifle like is a bit slower because
maybe.
I've been questioning that myself, but to me at least it feels like the rifle shoots like a little slower.
Hmm. But yeah, having the
The
definitely having that extra range from like the revolver, like range is everything in this game, and as you play worse, you get less and you're more likely to die. So you want as much range as you can get.
Yeah, that was one thing I found very interesting about this game was the way it handled health. Very much in that vein of the worse you play and the more damage you take, the harder it is to
Hmm.
actually like keep going because it takes away your weapon, and that is such a key part of being able to go forward is being able to defeat the enemies. And if you're there just trying to punch everything, it becomes so much more difficult.
There are some bits I'm
And
pretty
it's
sure
like,
you cannot punch your way through.
and
Like
it
if you don't have a
very,
weapon, you're just dead. Sorry.
yeah, it expects you to well and hold on to that. Um, but yeah, that's like I said, I'm very much impressed with both performances here. Like an hour to get through France blind, very solid in my opinion.
I saw one of the uh, non-race participants finish like before I was even out of Mexico. I don't even remember
That
where I
might have
was
been
at the
me.
time. I think I was in like screen 3 of Mexico or something. It's like, well, somebody here knows what they're doing, but I sure don't.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and actually potentially win, so I take it. So this is short from when I submitted it. So from where you're at now at the beginning of the train, I believe it's through the end of the train and then the next boss after that. So it was shortened, thankfully. Um,
Good.
uh, with good reason. I think the original boss for the red bear, uh,
Mm,
right? What it is, there's a train and then there's a flying section where you have to kill 10 enemies or 10 enemy planes, and again is very scripted, like where the planes go and everything. And
mm.
the Red Baron does have a pattern, but I don't think that one's too bad. But getting to that point, the train is also a fairly difficult stage, especially the boss at the end. Funnily enough, if you get too close to him, he will suplex you, which is always
Great.
fun to see, except not
Fantastic.
really, because it usually means you're in range to melee, and it's
Mm,
yeah, not a good time. And I think there's just generally a fairly big lack of weapons and armor on this stage as well. So if you lose that early, it's very difficult to make up for it. So I think testers did a good job in saying like, hey, this is too much. We're gonna keep it to France. But that said, there isn't too much more of the game. Like Germany is the last country. There's like 3 or 4 bosses past this point. But
hmm.
so you did get through a good chunk of it.
Yeah, those like the what was there one? Yeah, the screen two boss for Mexico was fantastic because that was still on screen too. So it's at the end of this very long section, and uh, luckily I think all of the other bosses had their own screens, so it wasn't that bad for the rest of them. But that one was not great. But
Yeah, and I'm very glad that I was able to find the infinite lives
oh yes,
thing for this, because so this
God yes.
game I think starts you with like 2 or 3 lives,
Mm,
and 5 continues. And if you run out, then you just go to the beginning of the game. There's no level select, no
great.
password. You're just right at the beginning. So very much not appropriate for MD.
Yeah, that would have been horrible. I I think I would have quit in like half an hour.
I would not blame anyone for that.
All right. That's
Yeah.
yeah, it was a run. It evidently could have gone better, but I mean, could have gone worse, I suppose. But
Yeah, we hope you had fun in the tournament, and maybe we can see you next year for the next one. Loads more games.
yeah, hopefully. Uh, January is quickly becoming my busy month of the year, but I'll still be trying to participate if I can. It's always interesting to see what you get because sometimes it's frustration inducing things like this, and sometimes it's just weird stuff, but all the time there's a lot of interesting games that people submit for this, so it's neat to try some things out.
So usually this is when we would cut up to the next games in the schedule, but I don't actually know how they do that, so I can't. Guess we're just having a sort of abrupt finish here. Maybe I can manually look at the schedule. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
do that.
look at the schedule.
All right. I need to get going, but thanks for commentating. Thanks for the restream.
Yeah, thanks for participating, MT.
Good. GG.
Farewell.
Yes. Okay, looks like tomorrow we have is this a double? A double between Tower of Kenya and Shambles and 90 versus Furriturd at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can look forward to that. Some well-known names, I guess.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see them in Lizards 3 already.
Oh, is that a Lizards match? Oh,
Both of them are.
wow.
Like, dang. It's like
What?
we've had some crazy upsets this tournament, I feel like.
Yeah, I didn't look at the round, and I fully expected these to be winners matches. Like, Furriturd, I think, was in top 8 last year. Shambles regularly makes 9th place, and they're both in losers. That's Lizards. It's really surprising. Yeah, so probably very good matches. You can tune in tomorrow. See ya.
Yep. See you.